Long now has mankind looked up to the skies and wondered if we are alone in this universe. Many miraculous things have been spotted all over the world, reported by our militaries, and sparked great debates amongst ourselves. I am here to tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, people of Earth, brothers and sisters of all races, all countries, that we are not alone. We have never been alone. That some higher power has sought to spread the gift of life throughout the universe and beyond all comprehension. It is in these times we must learn to love one another. We must not share hate, but joy. We must not inhibit, but we must grow. These beings are our friends. They are our family. They want to help us become better, to see the true potential of mankind. And for maybe one day, we will join them in their voyage to help other beings from other star systems. As shocking as this news may be, it is nothing new. Our governments of the world have known for quite some time that we are not alone in this universe, and we have had contact for many of years, slowly preparing the American public and the publics of the world for such a revelation. We are not alone, and we are about to embark on the greatest journey mankind has ever experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, we have contact. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Contact. My name is Dakota Frandsen, Specialist of the Strange. Here's my co-host, Scotty Potato Head.
Oh, you changed that, you fiendish man.
And we have our good friend Drew from Living Histories Mysteries, and maybe the newest recruit to the Bald and Bonkers team.
Yes, that's right, ladies. We'll tell you more about that after, because I'm going to have to strangle now, and this is for the people in the podcast land. Imagine hands going across to my co-host. Change that back, young man. There might be some pretty girls come in the chat. They want to know who my name is. That's terrible. See, Drew, this is what I have to put up with on a nightly basis. That's terrible. There's great things in the chat.
This is why I stay in hiding so much. I'm scared of what happens in here.
You know, guys. And Drew, I'm going to get him back. I'm going to get him back on TikTok. And if you haven't subscribed to Dakota and me on TikTok, please subscribe to us, because you will see something very funny tonight, and it's him. I just can't believe you did that. I was sharing this out, man. I was sharing out.
Why do you think I made sure to take control of the intro this time?
Terrible. We've got some amazing things we're talking about tonight with Drew here and Dakota. But first, I would like to see everybody in the chat. Who have we all got in there? Dakota, what amazing people do we have?
Oh, let's see. We have the Parapost Network, which has been a kind and generous host to us to one of our 40-plus locations. Trust me, I just had an argument with somebody earlier because I was trying to name off all of them. They're like, just 4! We're on 45 different locations.
Yeah.
And growing.
There you go.
Let's see.
So who have we all got in the chat tonight? Some strange people are in tonight, I think.
Let's see. We have Chris's incense supplier, Smith Family Paranormal.
Have. Thank you. The best incense in North America.
Yeah, incense.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
How the hell you managed to get it past customs, I'll never know.
I don't know. I've been a changed man ever since I got some of that incense, But anyway, who else we got in there? There's somebody called Living Histories Mysteries. Who could that possibly be?
It's this ugly guy.
Yeah.
Weird dude.
It's John Lennon, guys. We've brought him back from beyond,
Remember all the people.
This is a great night. This is going to be a great night,
God.
guys. We've got paranormal world investigators. We all love Sherry. She's in the room tonight. Who else have we got? Let me see. If I've got
Thinking
names
of
down.
others.
Thinking of others. We can't forget about him. You're awesome, Thinking. There you go. So I'm going to hand you over to my lovely co-host as he interviews our guests for tonight. So Dakota, after you, my friend.
Well, like we said, he's just not a guest. So we're going to try to schedule a little something to bring Drew over to the Bald and Bonkers crew and have him be a part of all the amazing projects we have coming up. But because this is a UFO-based show and we do need to pop his UFO cherry a bit more, we have a few plans later for tonight. But I believe it was during Sherry's Christmas show that we were all on, or one of them around that time frame, that you happen to share some very interesting stories that you may believe is UFO related, possibly abduction related.
Oh yeah. I'm still not convinced, but I'm also not closed off to it. And you know, I remember as a young child experiencing, I guess, the lost time phenomenon, not remembering certain periods of time and stuff, but it really got bad after I, went into that diabetic shock, come out of the coma, came home. It was almost a nightly thing that I would, and I could see.
We lost his voice.
Drew, we got no audio.
No, my phone was ringing for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I
saw your
my
lips
phone was.
Yeah,
it's like I was looking around, going, "What's ringing?" There's nothing on my phone, and then right in the middle of the last ring, a name popped down, popped right back up. It's like, huh? Oh well.
Strange.
But anyway, after I came back home, after I had come out of the coma and stuff, it was almost a nightly thing for a while that I would wake up and I would see myself on a platform. But I guess I would have to show you how our bedroom's arranged, because right by our door that we come in the bedroom is where the bed's at, and you walk straight and there's our TV and the windows, and then over here is the bathroom door. Well, right there between the windows and the bathroom door, I could see myself laying flat on a platform, and there were objects, people around me. And I could see it, and then I'd wake up and I was fine. They were gone. It was gone, everything. And it just became a regular occurring thing. And there for a long time, it really frightened me. It's like, okay, am I dreaming this? Is this entities trying to study me? Are they hearing me? Are they hurting me? Is it alien? Is it spiritual? What is it?
Yeah.
Because I say I was laying on a platform because I was laying straight as a board, but I didn't see a platform. I was basically just floating there like on an invisible board, and it just got to me, and then all of a sudden stopped. Haven't had a problem in a long time.
See, when you were lying in that platform, what was above you? What was above you?
Nothing.
What could you see?
Nothing. If I had to put it into human terms, it was 3, 4, 5 emergency workers carrying me on a gurney. There was nothing above me, nothing below me. If I had to put it into human terms, that's what That's what it was. I was basically being carried, but they had no hands under it. All of them had their hands on top of it. They were touching me or something, but it only lasted a few seconds.
That's
So
so strange. That's. Can I ask you something?
I remember when I was real little, I told my dad about it. He said, "See, I knew I didn't make you. You're an alien baby." I'm like,
That is fascinating.
Thanks. Thanks, Dad.
Did you ever have any like implants or anything like sign after that? Did you have any like implants, lumps, anything?
It's really funny you mention that. When I was probably 16 years old, I noticed that right underneath this arm, like right here on the bottom of my bicep, I have got what looks like two ingrown blackheads about 1 inch apart. And I mean, I can literally take the back end of a needle and shove it in that hole. They don't come out the other side. But I can literally, I mean, there's a hole both ways, and I've never been able to figure out what that is. It's almost like I popped 2 zits when I was little, and they never healed up. Do I ever hear voices? You forget what I do for a living, Sherry? I always hear voices.
It's weird Sherry should say that, because before the show, we were getting a weird feedback, weren't we, Dakota? We were getting like a...
Yep, you were talking about that.
Specifically, right as we were mentioning, Drew, potential abduction. Yep. Right around those words, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on cue. And the thing is, with today's show, some of you know that there is I still consider it somewhat more of one of the exotic theories because of its nature, but does seem to be frequent contact ever since Chris and I started utilizing CE5. It's been going on longer than that, but it's gotten a lot stronger. And it was highly recommended that during this live, perhaps a little bit later on, if Drew's willing to try something out and everybody else here is willing to experience some potentially weird events because of the conjunction between Venus, the moon, and Mars that happened in the skies last night, something may be coming through.
Yeah. I think something will come through.
No, Sherry, not when I was awake or not when I was seeing what I was seeing. I didn't hear any voices.
Have you ever thought, Drew, about maybe getting hypnotherapy and going back to see if you can remember anything?
I've thought about it, but here my insurance wouldn't pay for it. It wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah. It's
I've actually I've thought about getting readings done and stuff like that, but yeah, my insurance wouldn't pay for an actual hypnotherapy session.
Yeah. I feel that it could be unlocked, that there's something that needs to be unlocked for you to remember, because it was the same for me in my position. Something was unlocked for me, and I can feel it now, but and it's the same for Dakota. Something unlocked for you, wasn't it, Dakota?
It's like when we had Cassius on the show and he was asking what our experiences were like. It's like, there's a party somewhere and we just found the door it was hiding behind. You hear all the noise, something's going on, you're just not exactly sure where it's happening. You finally found it and realized it's a party for you. Or in my case, hi, Daddy!
Yep. But here's actually an interesting fact, Drew, an interesting question, Drew. Have you ever seen any of the UFOs? Have you ever experienced any UFOs?
Oh yeah. Several times.
Could you tell us? Because I think that's got something to do with it.
first time, and that's the reason my dad made the crack about me being an alien baby, is because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. And we were 9 miles to one town, 11 miles to the other town. So I was always outside looking at the sky. And I seen several unexplained lights when I was growing up out there. But one time in particular, I saw something in the middle of the daytime. And at a distance, it almost had the profile of like a helicopter. You couldn't see the prop or anything on top of it, but it was flying backwards. It was real tall in the back and real. If I had to describe it, it reminded me of a Star Destroyer off Star Wars. It was real tall in the back and dropped down, and then that was probably 15 or 16 years old when I saw that during daytime, and it was flying north to south, perfect. The other one that really sticks out in my head, there was a meteor shower here 4 years ago, I think. And I and my wife and our daughter and my mother-in-law and her best friend all went out to the country to a church parking lot that was dark. It was desolate. We could see it really clear. And we all seen a bright light appear on the western horizon, come directly at us, probably, I'm going to say probably 2,000 or 3,000 feet by the size of the light and the intensity. Almost like an airplane with no flashing lights and just their one landing light on is what it reminded you of. And that this thing came at us. It actually got probably, now understand, I'm trying to compare this to what it looked like from the ground at 11 o'clock at night. But it looked like it came within probably a football field distance, and just all of a sudden went from moving in this direction, just a complete 90-degree turn. Started moving north, looked like it moved north probably 2 or 3 miles, started going directly eastward again, and then went 90 degrees the opposite, like it was completely avoiding us. But it was making nothing but 90-degree turns. And then disappeared in the eastern horizon.
I'm wondering if you've always had this connection through your life.
Oh,
because you're into the spirits. I mean, I've noticed a lot of people that are into spirits, that have seen spirits, that are ghost hunters, and they do have like a connection. Do you know what blood type you are? Out of curiosity.
A positive.
You're A positive, right? Dakota?
Reason why, for those of you who may just be tuning in or may not be familiar with the concept, and it does seem like we have a little bit of signals coming in through some of our more sensitive members. The reason why I say that is because one of the conspiracies out there is that type O negative blood does not originate from Earth. Now, granted, they say it's a sudden mutation that causes that, but certain individuals have noticed that people with type O negative blood tend to be more spiritually inclined, may have psychic gifts, and tend to be abducted more. Part of the logic.
I wish I could get my son on here.
It doesn't follow families.
I actually have one son that's O positive and one that's O negative, and me and their mothers are both A positive.
That's interesting.
Yeah. There's part of it is that they believe it actually originates from the Anunnaki, who intended to implement their own blood into our population to try to help us become more compatible with them over time. Those, so far, based on the cases I've taken on, a majority of the people have had O negative blood.
Yeah.
But the concept was try to allow natural selection to integrate it more into more population. That's why Chris was saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. That I suppose. What's that message for Cherry in there? What's that she's saying? What was the messages that she posted? I couldn't read that. If you scroll
She's
back
trying
up,
to she's trying to Romanize light language,
I thought so.
which is something that existed before writing, so it's not very accurate.
Yeah, no, when
Or at
you,
least on
the
this
light
world.
language, ladies and gentlemen, is like lishna klinato tashi, things like that. That's the light language. Nobody really knows what you're saying with light language. That's the thing. See what I'm trying to say? Have you ever experienced anything like that, Drew? Have you ever experienced anything like maybe a waking dream where you've been shown something in space?
You know, I don't really remember a lot of my dreams. When the ones I do remember are the really fracked up dreams.
Right.
The ones that absolutely positively could not make any sense whatsoever, no matter how hard. I would probably go to somebody to have them analyze my dream, and they would have to leave and get therapy, trying to figure out some of these dreams.
Right, I'll maybe
I
make it
feel ya.
easier. Have you ever had like a dream where you've been off the world? If you've been somewhere else, on like a different planet, have you ever had anything like that? Maybe purple atmosphere, maybe a couple of moons in the sky. Have you ever had...
Hey. You got to avoid questions like that, my friend, but let's...
Yeah.
You actually just made me remember something from when I was really, really little. Like I said, I grew up out in the country in a farm. We had this, and I think they have this style of like a livestock trough in Scotland. The big round concrete livestock troughs for the cows or whatever can all come up and drink all around it. We had one of those, and I remember standing out in the yard about midway between that trough and the garage and looking up in the northern sky and seeing 3 planets that looked like they were in Earth's orbit. I mean, it's like you had Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars just like overlapping each other, almost to that point where you could reach out and touch them. They look so close. Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
When you go to Dakota, what do you think?
It's certainly interesting.
But I remember that, and with you saying seeing other moons and stuff, that's what made me think about that, because I remember waking up. It was so real. I mean, you could hear my dad's music playing in the garage. It was dusk, so I mean, it wasn't dark. It wasn't really bright. But I remember I was walking out past my mom's car from the house, and I got, say, I formed a triangle with that livestock trough, the garage, and then I was sitting back here, and I was walking towards the garage, and I looked up, and it's like, there it was. You've seen all the stripes on Jupiter. You've seen Saturn overlapping Jupiter. You can see the rings, and you can see, little red Mars sitting right down at the bottom of the 3 of them, all overlapping each other. And it was like, well, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I bet.
And then my dad yelled my name, and I turned back to the garage, and next thing I know, I was waking up. But
there you go.
It's certainly interesting. That is actually a well-known outpost, right, about their alleged, I should keep saying, because we do want to try to keep some of this bounded in reality. That is a known hotspot, and there is especially recently, some of our contacts mentioned that there is supposed to be a big convoy coming through from Alpha Centauri and Mars. So, it certainly begs the question. Yeah, it does sound like you're tripping out, but you gotta wonder sometimes. Who are we to judge?
But that's the thing. But maybe the reason I said that is maybe to trigger something. Think about this. I mean, it's like Sherry's speaking in the chat there. She's helping trigger things. Find that
Yeah, I've
interesting.
been kind of trying to keep up with, glancing at you guys and glancing back at the chat.
Yeah.
The convoy is really interesting because, see, I've been trying to get more involved in ufology, cryptid studies, urban myths and legends, and not just completely devoting everything over to the paranormal. And I recently ran across the pictures of the objects just sitting off center from the top of the moon. They showed like 10 or 15 different little objects sitting just off the top of the moon. It's like, oh, wow. We've been hearing about the convoy in Canada coming down through the United States and heading to Washington. I just looked at that and thought, oh, they're sending their own convoy. Cool.
Has anybody else in your family experienced anything?
If they did, you'd have to drug them up and hypnotize them to make them up. My own mother used to tell us stories about the night my grandfather died. And we were in South Carolina, and 30 years ago, she would swear on a stack of Bibles that she woke up at exactly 2:15 in the morning. My grandfather was standing on her side of the bed, said, "Sis, I will not be home when you get back." And she said, she asked him why, and he said he no longer lives there, that he was going to heaven, and that he loved her and he was proud of her. And she woke up the next morning to a phone call from my grandmother that he died of a heart attack in his sleep.
That's amazing.
But you ask her today, she'll say, no, that never happened. That was just a dream.
Yeah.
So, the difference between 45 and 75, but still,
Go.
Well, naturally, something like that would be easier for some people that are just dismiss as a weird dream. But speaking from experience, unfortunately, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Definitely something to you there, Mr. Drew. Exactly what we may need to probe you.
Well,
I can't believe you said
we'll
that.
leave it to Scotty over here.
I can't believe you went and said that. Oh my God.
I've had a lot of people in my life tell me I was special. Some of them loved me, and some of them would just want to put me in special classes in school. So I mean, it's
I think there's more. I think there's more to this story, and now that you've talked about this, I think things are going to start.
Well, unfortunately, it's not just from us whispering sweet nothings in your ear that tends to wake these things up.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was kind of saying, hey, hold off, because when it comes to these types of things, you do have to worry about accidentally triggering false memories when it comes to these types of subjects.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if you're up for it, and if the chat's up for it, we could try to induce something and see what happens, and maybe someone else in the chat might experience something. It would not be the first time we've had a ripple effect. In fact, Phoenix here, she's actually been talking to me about some experiences she's having. She was a little self-conscious about potentially coming up just yet, but I understand. You're talking to a guy who's possibly married to an alien, and when you really think about it, that just means there's no woman on Earth that'll want to put up with me, so I have to go off-world.
Well, I mean, my wife always swore she would never get married. This guy, the guy that she decided to marry, had to be really special. And I mean, 6 months dating her, and I married her. So I mean, you know, I guess I'm really special or really special. I mean,
MD in the
Oh.
chat, guys, when Dakota plays these tones, if you experience anything whatsoever, could you please tell us?
And I don't think we're just going to leave it to just the tones. I'm going to set something up to where it's recording on my phone the entire time, so that way we can go bounce back and listen to it.
Okay.
We're also going to start at the necrophonic, because as some of you who follow my channel know, there's a lot of weird things that come out in the darkness when I combine the two. So, Drew, you up for this? Because this might cause you a bit of a headache, especially when you have earphones in.
well, I mean, you know, better than me causing you guys have a headache.
Yeah, I find them very relaxing, the tones.
Oh, I use tones all the time. When I have my 3 o'clock mornings and I want to come in here and just be quiet and relax, I'll put on different kinds of tones and just let them play for an hour or whatever. And I'll just sit back in my chair and close my eyes. And, you know, it's really kind of funny. I'll tell you this before we get started. If I want to listen to an ambient sound that completely, quote unquote, takes me off this world, I put on the sound of space travel, the hum of an engine, star fields passing by. That is where I get my most relaxation, not from thunderstorms, not from the sound of the forest. It has to be the hum of an engine and star fields passing by.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah, I do that too.
Well, these tones. No, I was just gonna say. Sorry about jumping over there, but I was just gonna say these tones are from the CE5 protocols. Anybody can get this as an app on their phone. It's $10.
Yeah.
You think, oh, why is he charging it? But you got it. That's his way of keeping it advertised, and he's got to fund his own thing. This is from Dr. Stephen Greer, who's done these things for longer than I've been alive. So, and these tones actually allegedly come from crop circle formations and craft themselves. Initially, I was skeptical of that claim, but we have had people come forward after listening to these tones, give us video of craft that when you enhance the sound, yeah, exactly. When you enhance the sound, you hear very similar signals coming from them.
Yes.
So
I find them very relaxing. I don't know, it does something to me. It makes me feel just chilled out.
I get jacked up whenever I start hearing. I was like, okay, where they at? Where they at? Come on. Then it started causing interference with electronics at work, so that was interesting.
Yeah. Fire away.
Anyway, all right. We'll start off with these for a bit. Yes, we can hear you. Is there someone who would like to speak to us this evening? Someone just say my wife was here? Jupiter. My friend Drew McCrae here believes that he may have been visited when he was younger. Is that true? Yes. There's someone who wanted to speak while we were doing this live tonight.
Tell me your name.
It's mentioned you, Drew.
Where are you from? What's special about today? Do you have a message for Drew? Yes. Where are you from? did you take Drew? Why did you take Drew? Drew, ask some questions. Tell him to ask questions.
Why was I taken? Why was I put here?
Balls directed here. You know them, the stars, seeds. You know, planet evolve to be free. We
How many times have I been here?
Where are you from?
everywhere.
Answer me. What is your purpose?
You do not understand what it is we do.
Who or what is Guard Star?
Are you communicating with Sherry in the chat?
Guard, star, protect. Jerry knows, sees.
What is the relevance of Vega?
Your home.
World.
There is Earth. Home.
When will you be here?
You see. We're already here. We've been here for some time, making sure our star children are safe. Our world does not handle change well. We built religions around hurting us.
What is your name?
How many of us are there?
Thousands. More than ever.
I think they want someone to speak the light language. Speak some words, Dakota. They want you to do it. Can you hear it? Hear it, Drew? There are many you have found your true self. There are many. Dakota, ask them the name of the star system. Dad and Drew. Drew, ask it another question. I think.
When was I taken last?
$16. Years.
You can hear you. Sick, ladies and gents. Try something here. He's gonna come.
How do you know he's not already here?
In the dreams, when I saw myself, was I being taken or just looked upon?
He wants you all. You were safe. We watch over as many as we can. May I use to answer your questions?
Phoenix, I need to ask them something. What do you want to ask them? Type it in the chat and I'll read it out.
You will feel now that you are awakened.
Where does Drew Paranormal Vlog stand in all of this?
The path diverged. We appeared to help her, but she tends to be close-minded. She fears us. We come back
Right,
if they know.
I need from Phoenix. I need to know when they took me down the long corridor with the white light. Was that underground, the Egyptian pyramid tunnel? Another question for you.
No. Many of your cultures knew of us in the ancient times. Many of our cultures were integrated into yours. but understanding of them was lost in time.
Phoenix again. When I saw the pyramid, I triggered a memory.
We have many that your ancient cultures took inspiration from. We showed them how to channel natural energy. In the pyramids that you speak of, some of the elements needed were taken by looters, destroyed by those who did not understand children in their own right without guiding hand.
Do you have any other questions, Drew, before Dakota cuts it off? Because I can feel he's not got long.
We have other duties to abide by.
No, not really. Actually, I was just sitting here thinking that I had completely stopped hearing the tones, and the muscles all over my arms and stuff were starting to spasm.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, where'd the tones go? All I can hear is the speaking.
They turn off on their own after a few rounds. Dakota switched it to different frequencies around what you call Mount Shasta, near the City of Lights, where you all will be meeting us soon. That much I can tell you.
Yes.
Have you visited me in my waking time, looking not like yourself?
You all are close, but very on the tip of understanding of how we can manifest in your life. Some of what you may know as spirit was truly us. We operate the same channels. Sense that something is near, but you do not, despite your best efforts, know how to tell the difference unless you've become one of us or have been exposed. We have agents who most resemble your kind on your world, living as one of you.
There's a good question. Am I Anunnaki?
You are partly, as most are on this world. You are in it. Many of you have their blood. They were in the wrong when they created you, but now many have started to work to help you realizing your potential. You already know the names of the rulers responsible for your creation, but twisted the facts over time.
Do you have any more answers you would like to give before you leave? Because I can feel that you want to leave. I can feel you.
Yes. Let's see us again soon.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, did any of you experience anything when listening to those tones? Well, we'll let Dakota slowly come out of his. Drew, have you experienced anything? Is any memories unlocked for you?
I remembered things. I was trying to keep them in the. I was trying to type them in the chat. I remembered other things from my childhood: Vega, Andromeda, Guard Star.
I think you're going to remember stuff tonight. I think a lot of people in the chat is going to experience something tonight. I think you'll experience something too, Drew. I'll tell you after the live what I experienced, but it's quite interesting. Phoenix in the chat there, what exactly am I? I don't really know. It's what we all are, aren't we? You know? Yeah, you are. So, Dakota, would you like to discuss anything else before we go off tonight? Would you like to discuss anything, let you come out of that kind of phase?
I suppose we should. As when you know who's especially been watching this week, members of Bald and Bonkers, we're trying to get involved with the Ukraine crisis right now. You look through the chats or through the comments, depending on which channel you're observing this, or for those of you listening to the podcast version, we'll try to make sure it's included in the description. There is a charity base out of Ukraine in one of the harder hit cities that is dedicated to try to help the children affected by these terrible events. But in all the same, I feel that when you actually hear the story of the people being affected, it is terrible but inspiring all in the same time. As we were discussing before, it was brought to my attention that apparently the Ukraine president that is currently making fools out of Western world leaders right now was a former stand-up comedian.
Yes.
The people are fighting back and pushing against the Russian armies that try to say they're all big and bad. There is still hope for this to end.
Yes.
But lives will still be lost.
If everybody in the chat could maybe pray tonight for maybe a peaceful resolve to this, because things are heating up over there, especially with our nuclear weapons being put on standby and Japanese ships been attacked and other things that's happening around the world, and what Putin is doing is terrible. But you must understand too, a lot of Russian people, it's not their fault. It's just one crazy guy in power that's sent troops in to do terrible things. And you must remember we're all human, we all have souls, and I think we should all stick together on this and try and pray tonight, not just for the Ukrainian soldiers, not just pray for the Ukrainian civilians, but pray too for the Russian soldiers, because a lot of them have went into battle thinking it was an exercise, thinking this was all one big exercise.
This is something that a lot of people need to know, and like I've said on the last show, I was just to add on to what Chris is saying.
Yeah.
The Russian people did not ask for this. They don't want this. They're rioting against this in Russian streets. The Ukrainians obviously don't want bombs being dropped on their house. Nobody wants this but Putin, who has made his intentions known to try to rebuild the Soviet Union.
Yes.
Into which, once the merchandise is ready in all necessary channels in order to put this information out there to reduce the workload on us to make sure it's done in a quick, proper manner. Bald and Bonkers will be releasing, and I know there's some people in the chat that are a little cautious about cursing, but we're going to be releasing "Fuck You Putin" t-shirts, our own little version of "Let's Go Brandon."
Yes.
And yes, I did want to mention our lovely Andrina is wanting to do a stream involved to help raise money in order to donate to the cause as well. She has our full support in doing that.
Yes. Full support. And the t-shirts should be available soon, hopefully. And everybody will wear a "Fuck You Putin" t-shirt. And I'm going to get one because I'm going to wear it proudly.
And we're going to try to get it out to some of our military contacts that shockingly, a lot of them actually started popping up since we started talking UFOs before. I find that funny.
Yeah.
Who are planning on strapping it onto the gear that's going over to there. So,
yes. So, I think we need to change the world and we need to make it a better place. But hopefully, things will calm down. Hopefully, we can pray and hopefully things will calm down. We can only pray. It's all we can do. I mean, we're not in power. We're not military. We can't do nothing. We have to sit back and hope.
Believe it or not, I was going to say this. Believe it or not, prayer does affect. They have found that there have actually been studies where people focus on meditation, prayer. There's enough of an EMF disturbance from if enough people, and it takes just about 1% of the population to do it, where the people prayer and focus on good intentions, things start to calm down in the world.
Yeah.
It has been documented.
Also, Smith Family Paranormal of Opus this year. Me and Smith are doing a show Wednesday to cards, guys, making things. Crystal donate for help for your cane. Yes, Smith Family Paranormal have also got they're doing an auction on a crystal. May I say it's a beautiful looking crystal. And they're taking bids over $25 for this beautiful crystal. And the proceeds are going to help charities in Ukraine for civilians.
The thing I think I find most amazing is for years, the United States feared the Russian military. They feared the Cold War. Yeah. And here is Russia. Here is a place that is bigger than the United States.
Yep.
And their army is getting their butts handed to them by a state.
Yes.
By a state of farmers led by a comedian.
Yep.
If that is inspiration that you can change the world when you have enough fight in you, I don't know what is.
I mean, you can see the funny side of this. Putin and his military has been made a fool of on a grand level here. They will be known now as not a superpower anymore. The only reason they're a superpower now is because they've got nuclear weapons, guys. If they didn't have those nuclear weapons, they're the laughing stock of the world right now.
Smith family just talking about the crystal.
Yep. So, guys,
just making sure it gets out there.
Honestly, guys, go and bid on that crystal because it's a nice piece of crystal that I might bid on it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I may chip in a few bucks there. That's it. I would have to go. I would have to go mining not too far from me to get a good sized chunk like that. My goodness.
Yeah, it looks like something that Superman would have in his secret lair, isn't it? I mean, it must be.
It looks. Ironically, it does kind of look like a miniature scale model of the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, that's where Putin will be going after this. So, honestly, guys, once the t-shirts are available, we will give you the links and buy one.
Part of the delay is that we are trying to set up a bit of a eBay store, so that way it helps the exposure for the company as well and gets it out there and makes it to where we're not having to put up behind any more projects because we want to expand. We want to try reaching out in order to build more charity partnerships because yes, we do like to do things to where we're acting like total idiots on the stream, but we're also still human. We want to make sure this thing is already blowing up more than any of us expected, so we want to make sure we do some good with it.
Yeah, and you got to remember we're called Bonkers for a reason.
Exactly. And like we said, this one's joining us.
Yes, Drew's joining us. You're going to get a show in the network. I'm looking forward to this. I'm a bit excited.
Yeah, it's my understanding that apparently you and Andrina have been talking over some stuff, so we're going to have to sit down and see what everybody's doing. Well, I'll have something set up to help with that very soon.
So, guys, remember, share those links out. Listen to us on Amazon podcast. Help the numbers, views go up. And for everybody on the podcast side, please come over to the YouTube channel and give us a subscribe. Please go to Living History Mysteries and give him a subscribe. Let's get you to 1,000 subscribers, Drew.
I would love to get back up there again.
Yeah.
This rebuilding a brand new channel thing sucks ass.
I know. It's taken us forever to get to 1,000, right? And I know how you feel, but you're going to get there.
See, when I was doing just history, it took me over a year. Took me a year and a half to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it took me another 8 months to get to 2,000 subscribers. But when I went to doing paranormal, I hit 4,000 subscribers in 6 months.
Yeah.
So
once you get to 3,000, it starts to snowball. I think that's the effect. You know.
Yep, you're right, Dobby. The two Drews, Drew 1 and Drew 2.
We're gonna have to build that into merch.
Yes. Yes, we'll need to get.
Yeah, we need a T-shirt with me and Drew standing back to back, and just have like Drew 1 and Drew 2.
That's what we'll call it.
On the
two Drews
on the T-shirts.
The two Drews. Away.
I don't know why I burst out into a Scottish accent there, but I think that might be kind of fun.
You know what that is? You've been talking to me for too long.
Oh, that was Scottish?
Yeah.
Ah, crap. Okay.
I know. So, guys, we will be back on Thursday night for the Inner Quartz.
Yes, we do have a couple of things to announce real quick before we take off. First off, we're back Thursday with the Inner Quartz. Sherry is taking some time off, so no lost magics. She's gonna try to run away to America, but
I know.
Let's face it, the whole situation may make that a little impossible. Yeah, not trying to jinx anything, Sherry. No hexing me, please.
That's right. You hex him. Wake up tomorrow with 2 horns.
So we don't have we might try to pull off something special for Friday to fill the time, but Saturday. Oh wait, Friday. I forgot.
Oh,
we have a little. I almost forgot. Chris and I will be guests with our dear friend Drew here on his show.
Well,
yep, they sure will. They will be on Ghost to Ghost PM, my paranormal live stream interviews, at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. Please adjust for your location in the world. But they will be my guests on this coming Friday night, March 4th, and we're going to talk about everything under the sun that's got to do with these two jokers right here.
Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
And Saturday, we have a very special guest that I was just talking to before the show, just to confirm, make sure they're still coming on. Let me see if I can grab their book real quick. Drew, this may actually be something that'll interest you. Author Craig Campobasso, yes. I believe it's pronounced. We're going to have to ask him that before he goes on. author of Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, ruled tight with the MUFON community.
Universal translator.
Yeah.
Read there.
Sucks when tongue has a stroke and the rest of you don't, doesn't it?
Right. He has worked on several UFO-based projects. He is a casting director.
Oh, yes.
And we do have a bit of a trailer to put together to try to help get him over for a documentary we're going on based on all this weird UFO stuff that's been happening with us.
Yeah.
He's been on Ancient Aliens. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a show to look forward to. Yeah, we're hitting the big boys.
We're hitting the big boys, I say there. There you go. There's another Scottish accent for you.
We need some models on this program in order to start learning more, because only so far our goofy charm can win us over.
Look, I'm doing my best with my handsome looks. I can't help it. I'm the only one here.
See, this is what I said, Drew. I'm the brains. He's the personality.
Yes. You see, you're going to love
someone. Someone has to have a role to play in life.
Yep.
And I figure only one of you can be the pretty one. I'm flipping coins over that one. But
oh, you mother! Oh God.
Oh my God, guys! Sometimes I don't know. But anyway, guys, it's been a great show, and we'll see you on Thursday night for the Inner Quartz. Goodbye, and may the aliens come and take you away in the night to a lovely place. I wanted to add that.
Careful, that's been happening to me for years, and now I have 2 kids with one. So
bye. You may have more than 2. You don't know.
I know, that's the concerning bit.
Bye-bye.
I wouldn't worry about it till the millennium of child support starts coming in.
That's what I'm thinking.
God, I hope that's not a thing.
And if it's interdimensional, so it's probably a couple of billion years added on to that.
I mean, I was like, think about it. If that's the case, does time dilation factor in here? So many questions that they just won't give us answers to.
Don't worry. We'll do like a donation thing or something. Might raise a couple of dollars for you.
We're going to have to raid some of those asteroids NASA's been eyeballing because there were trillions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, you and Elon, go up there and get one, Elon!
Anyway, oh wait, that's not my shtick. That's another guy.
Catch you later, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Have a great week, and we hope to see you
Have a good evening. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.